and I decided to start maybe a few minutes later than normal. My apologies. I was just having too much fun. Hopefully, everybody's having a good day. Actually, I'm pretty late, 3 minutes late here. So, good morning, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to the lunch hour, where it's pretty much just a Q&A session, right? Just a Q&A session. Feel free to ask any questions you might have. I'll gladly share my overall thoughts. It might not be the right thoughts, but I'll share my overall thoughts, especially in the AI and semiconductor market. Now, we got a few comments. Late, like a minute. I learned from him, right? I learned from him to be late. It seems you guys enjoy when we're late. Um, Hello, Jose. Hello, hello, hello. How are you today? What's going on, Big Buck? I'm doing really good. I'm doing really good. Can't complain. Definitely can't complain. Um, I don't think the market is that scary. I see a lot of red here in finance. Luckily, I'm not too much in the finance space. I don't think I really am in the finance space. But Nvidia being flat, Apple, Google, big tech is flat, right? So it's just chilling here. I'm happy not much bleeding is happening in there. AMD back over $200. So at least in forms of stocks, nothing is scaring me, at least as of right now. We do have some interesting stuff. I saw on kind of the chip stocks that we do have some strength. Super Micro is up about 6%. I saw. Um, I did hear that that maybe they might be getting some customer win from TPU servers, right? I think they're CLS. I actually don't follow that space too much, but supposedly there is a company called CLS that does a lot of the TPUs for Google, like the servers. I guess Google just has so many products right now that or such demand that is actually moving on to Supermicro to see if they can also build some of that. So I'm guessing that's what I heard from the top level overview. I haven't really read the news, but that's what it looked like. I wonder if that's what's driving the stock up. Nebbia's killing it, right? Nebbia's up up to $106, 4%. I'm super happy about this because I mean we talked about earnings. I thought earnings were amazing, amazing. Um, so Nebbia's at 106. Air test system back over 30. This one kind of does like that same thing over and over, right? It gets a good news of massive AI processor or AI deal. It jumps up like 30%. The next day it drops like 15%. It kind of gives back the gains and then it slowly brings it back up. So Air's test system, Sterolabs over 130. Not too much green, but it's okay. It does seem like BE Bessie. They are a semiconductor equipment player. They are down 8%. I think they reported earnings this morning, so maybe the market might not be too happy about earnings. Let's see what else we have. So, good evening here in Europe. What's going on? What's going on, Martin? Thoughts on ASML? Um, for ASML, this is a stock that it's boom, 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 boom. Let's go. Let's just look at here. ASML is for me a stock that if you're holding on to, if you have ASML now, if you have ASML, right, I would definitely not be selling at these levels. You see these massive capex still growing. You're still seeing new fabs being built. So you expect more bookings in the upcoming quarters as they get closer to building some of these fabs. So there's that long-term tailwind in capex for equipment players. But for a lot of equipment players, I do believe you've kind of already seen a lot of that priced in. Not everything, right? I'm not saying this is the top for ASML, but I think the risk to reward ratio is just not for me. If I wanted to be a new player, if I have the company already, there's still so much bullish thesis behind it. But luckily, I mean, we were talking about ASML when we were doing the live streams with Neo, right? In the 600s. And I think that's the best time. And we even mentioned it, right? ASML, the equipment players, I like it when the tailwind is coming, but the orders are not showing just yet. Now it's a different story. The tailwind is there, but the orders are also showing. Is why you get kind of this massive growth in such a short time with ASML. But overall, I would amazing company. I just wouldn't be a really big buyer right now. Good morning, Jose. What's going on? What's going on? Current thoughts on Broadcom? What's going on with Broadcom? Anything new? I mean, if obviously, if all these big players are spending a lot in capex, there's no reason to think Broadcom isn't going to get a slice of this pie. I mean, Google is getting really good efficiencies with the TPUs, right? They're getting great ROI with TPUs. They increased their capex to up to 180 billion. I forget 180, 185. I forget the actual number, but that's going to go. A good portion is going to go to TPUs. You also have other players that should be building their own ASIC chips as well. Because at least for certain workloads, especially for certain workloads, you still need that great ROI. RI and TCO from the chips that they kind of decide. So for me, I think the biggest thing with Broadcom for me is I do believe they are already such a massive player and they really do fight for kind of that wallet with Nvidia that I think they're kind of going to react similarly, right? So I'd rather just own Nvidia. I think Broadcom would be too much of a similar movement. Maybe if I didn't have the position I had with Nvidia, I wouldn't be opposed to getting into Broadcom, but it's more like for me, it's more of portfolio allocation. You can't own everything. And already Nvidia being a big position in my overall portfolio, I wouldn't want it to I feel like Broadcom would just be kind of like a really close proxy. Obviously, a lot of semiconductor companies are a proxy to the whole AI market. I think Broadcom will be more of a proxy to Nvidia right now. I'm curious to see what its valuation is at the moment, forward PE ratios. I think this one trades a little bit more expensive than Nvidia, but obviously you have the expectations of more ASIC wins and still grabbing a lot more of the market share. Right, but I'm curious here. And like always, if you guys need great charts, fiscal.ai/Jose. Don't use anybody else. I know you probably use someone else, but don't use anybody else. Use /Jose. Let's see. It's not working for me right now. Forward PE. That is most likely on my side. Yeah, forward PE is at 32, right? It's a bit expensive compared to some of the other Max 7s out there as well, right? I mean, you can get Nvidia for 26, 27 at the moment. So those are my thoughts there on Broadcom. What are you buying? Austin, buying anything right now, I mean, I talked about it. I really would be buying Amazon right now. I don't have much cash right now to be able to put to work. But if I did, Amazon would be one. Microsoft would be another. And these are ones that I actually just bought maybe like a week ago. So it's like I can't buy every single day either. Microsoft, Amazon are two that I think are really great right now. I would put Meta and Nvidia there as well. I think those Mac 4s are really strong right now. And it's boring. It's boring. I know it's boring. But I do think these players are going to win in this AI race. Nvidia, I also like AMD at these levels. I like Astera Labs a lot at these levels, right? Astera Labs. A new position I entered about a month, not a month, maybe a little bit over a week ago, was Form Factor. So Form Factor is one that I'm in as well. And Silicon Motion is another one that I've entered. So all in the memory space, all in the semiconductor space. A lot of them I owned already, but I still think they're great opportunities for me. I still believe the Mag 4 that I like right now. I would put Google in there, but I think Google has run up a little bit right now. I think Google is still great long term. Actually, no, it's come down a lot. But the Mag 5, take away Tesla and take away Apple, I think the Mag 5 looked pretty great for long term, which is boring, but boring is fine. Good morning. What's going on, Vin? SMCI lands Google Anthropic TPU rack builds. Is that what it was? Let's see. SMCI TPU. That's what I kind of saw. Let's see. So today's news. This move was, I don't know why that was removed. So SMCI length Anthropic TPU racks build proves massive demand for Supermicro's patent power saving tech and one-stop shop for AI infra. I don't know if I would take it that far. I think it's more of just like we need more TPUs. But let's see, this caught my eye. We are hearing that SMCI and Celestica CLS will share the Anthropic TPU rack builds. Google TPU forecast increased again. Supermicro and Celestica to share Anthropic TPU rack build Axion ramp in. 2027 as non-x86 CPU adoption accelerating, threatening AMD and Intel stronghold boutique shop. This is one I don't follow too much. Celestica, I'm guessing it's just another super micro kind of style, right? Celestica stock. Where do they trade? Are they they actually trade here. I didn't in New York Stock Exchange. I didn't know it was if they traded in the international stock exchange, but very nice. I guess the market didn't like that they're getting, because I think people used to say a bullish case for this one was that they had the TPU deals, right? The TPU deals with Google. And now you're saying, oh, you're going to be sharing it with other players. Why are you sharing it? Why couldn't you get it? What boat did you miss? But interesting to see that. Let's see. So Celeste, is anybody here in Celestica? Good morning. Good morning. GTC, good game. What's going on? May I meet you? I don't know if you may meet me. Vin, good GTC, good game to announce new AI SSD. I think we're going to see some new cool stuff, right, Celestica? I wonder, I mean, Vin, obviously Jensen teased a new AI chip. GTC new AI chip was teased. Nvidia's CEO Jensen Huang claims company will unveil never new chip the world has never seen before. I wonder, obviously, there's so many constraints in the market. Could it be something in the memory space that they announce? Could it be something with their LPU, with the Grok integration? Could it be more updates on the CPX that they announced a few months ago? Could it be something? Could it be the Intel and Nvidia CPU? There's so many things here that I'm excited for GTC. I'm honestly excited for GTC. I feel like this last GTC, I was excited, but I felt like I knew a lot was coming, right? I feel like this time for GTC, I think there's so much I don't know, which is wild because I look at this company on a daily basis and it's like, I just don't know where this is going to go because the AI market has shifted so much. I mean, all the different types of workloads that are going on, just the improvements on the chips themselves, on the different customers, on the types of AI models that are coming out. So I'm actually pretty darn excited. The amount of CapEx being spent, I'm very excited for this GTC. Hi, Jose and group. What's going on? What's going on? And appreciate everybody coming here. Like always, thank you so much. If this is your first time here, my name's Jose Najarro. I focus on semiconductors and AI stocks. This is pretty much what I breathe and eat and sleep. Actually, no, I eat a lot of other stuff. Yeah, this hour or so is just a Q&A session. So if you have any questions, I'll try my best to answer them. Yo, what's going on? Hello. Check IDKFF chart 80% discount. I don't know. That sounds like a weird penny stock, right? Is it a penny stock? 3D. What would we do this with a market cap of 8 million Canadian dollars? What is that, like $1 million US? I'm pretty sure not most of us, some of us could buy this company outright. What's going on here? Making me, well, what are we looking at that for? Is that just thoughts on Applied Digital? What's going on? Mantis. Let's go with Mantis. Applied Digital. Applied Digital. I mean, I've talked about this, right? Obviously, you have power is a major constraint in the AI industry right now, right? Power shells are a massive need. So you have this bullish trend win. I mean, you tailwind on AI infrastructure. You need the power shells. You need the people that are able to secure that power, build the power shells, and have it ready for the big players. Applied Digital has great contracts with a lot of different neo clouds and cloud players. It's just not a market I'm personally in. These contracts tend to be really long. Margins tend to be a little bit lower than anything else. I like to focus a little bit more in the AI infrastructure market, like your CoreWeave, like your Nebius, maybe like your Iron. Applied Digital, I think it's just too low in that tier. Margins get a little bit competitive. Obviously, right now with the landscape, it's not that style right now. Um, but yeah, the tailwinds and the trend is there for a good investment on Applied Digital. Even if the tailwind and trends are there, I just would rather play this AI infrastructure build out another way. Um, what's going on, John? Hey, Jose, is this the mid lunchtime show? I guess it is. Everybody, you guys are coming in from a mid. Did he finish yet? Yeah, I think I saw June here, so he must have finished already. Um, I think Apple is great for long term. I do think so too. I know I always clown on Apple, right? I clown on Apple. Um, that I don't put it in the Mag 5 that I mentioned. Apple has a great business, right? I mean, you can't be the second. They're the second biggest company if you don't have a great business. They have a great ecosystem. They don't. Many people are saying Apple is so smart because they're not investing these massive amounts of billions of dollars in capex compared to other players, and obviously they're not, right? They don't have a cloud business, right? This is the thing that sometimes, man, it's like Apple is a genius because they don't need to spend all this capex. They're not following the trend. Everybody else is spending this capex just has a lot of cloud business. That's where they're spending their capex for. No, 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 Sherlock. That Apple won't be spending that capex. What are they going to do with it? They don't need to build these massive data centers. But I mean, if there's anybody that once this AI story can really enter the consumer market, Apple already has the chips within their phones. They can translate it to their devices pretty quickly. Whatever is the winning device, whatever is the winning application, Apple, I do believe, has the ecosystem, not even if it's just a phone, right? Even if it's a new product, Apple can create a new product and kind of link it up with their ecosystem, and a lot of Apple customers would buy it. So, I mean, I think they have a great business. I think they could succeed in AI. I just don't like the lack of innovation. It's a great I like a great business with a fun story. I think Apple is just a great business. It's not a fun story for me. I spend time reading transcripts. I want to be excited when I read a transcript. Um, don't count Apple out. Yeah. So again, I don't. It's not that I don't count it out as a bearish thing, right? It's definitely not a bearish thing. It's just I don't like the story. Um, What's going on, June? Yeah, Apple chips. I mean, they're perfect. I mean, we see people going out there and buying Apple Studios they're spending $10,000 or so buying 4 or 5 Apple Mac Studios to train whatever models they're trying to do with Claude. Um, with I don't even know what is it? Is it Open Claw now? What is that company called now? Um, but I mean, they're really great. Yeah, definitely pretty strong there. Um, Apple is my second largest now that I trim Google at all-time highs. Nice, nice, nice. Hit that damn like button. Appreciate it. Sounds like you're saying Celestica. Isn't it Celestica? Isn't that how you say it? Am I saying it wrong? Celestica. Or is it Celi? Celeste. What's going on, RTNY? Star sells 400 gig and 800 gig high bandwidth Ethernet switches. Oh, they're also in the networking solution market. I did not know that. I don't follow that one like I mentioned. What's going on, Matt? Matt. I'm so sad this Matt's not going to GTC. I would have loved to see Matt and say hello to him, but he decided to go on vacation. Are you keeping up with the Indian AI Summit? I'm not, but I did think this was petty. I thought that was the most pettiest thing I've ever seen in my life, right? When they couldn't even shake hands, that's pretty wild. That's extremely, extremely wild. Hold on. I just want to see this. We're watching this. I don't care. We're watching this. Okay, I got bored. But darn. That picture of like Sam Altman and Dario couldn't hold hands for like, come on, like be grown-ups. That was wild. This was wild. This is extremely wild that you have that much hatred. Do they like send hate messages to each other? Like there has to be some sportsmanship, right? Even in the tech world. I just thought it was pretty clownish, right? Pretty clownish. Because I mean, all the CEOs, there's competition, right? There's competition with all the major big tech CEOs, but I think they all have a fun laugh with each other as well. Um, it's is That's just sad. And I feel like Dario, he wanted to put his hand out first. He wanted to be the number one, right? It's just I don't know. That to me was weird. Did Nvidia just close his position? Yeah, so I did see no, so they did close their, so Nvidia just closed a few positions, right? So I don't know if we looked at that here in this live stream. Nvidia SEC filing. Um they just had their 13F. Let's look here. This is, and then let's look at the one from, it was in November, I think they showed it. Yeah, in November. So Nvidia just released their 13F. Let me just say, if anybody was shocked on the companies in this list, they got to make sure to follow this channel because all of these investments should not be a surprise. Intel Corporation, this is that $5 billion investment that they made. It was around 214 million shares. That's exactly it. So they didn't buy any extra shares. They bought the 5 billion that they said they were. Nokia, they said they were going to spend, I think, $1 billion on shares, and it was going to be about 160 something million. That's exactly what we saw. Synopsys, I think they said they were going to spend about $2 billion on investments in there. That's exactly what we got. So those were the new ones. It was Nebius, it was Nokia. Actually, all four of these, all four were new. Intel, Intel, Nokia, and Synopsys were new. The two that were still there are CoreWeave and Nebius. And Nvidia didn't add new positions to either, or add it to the shares. They continue to hold the same shares. But now, if we see what they sold out of, they sold out of Applied Digital. I don't necessarily think it's a bearish case for Applied Digital. I just don't think Nvidia needs this investment, right? I think with certain players, Nvidia has to make sure that they are not favoring one person because then the market might not like it, or your customers might not like it. So I think they let go of Fly Digital. They let go of Recursion Pharmaceutical, RXRX. They let go of WeRide, and they let go of ARM Holdings. I was actually shocked that they sold ARM Holdings. That one really shocked me a little bit. But is it because that that one did shock me a little bit, but I don't think them selling anything would make me bearish. Um, if Nvidia wasn't my bullish case, right? Like if I don't think Applied Digital should have a bullish case that Nvidia was an investor. Maybe for Recursion, I know for a lot of these small players like Recursion and WeRide, some people would like them. Like I like Recursion because Nvidia was an investor. Now that it's not, maybe I'm not too excited about it. But yeah, they made a few purchases. A lot of those purchases, all the purchases that they made, were known deals. So no big surprise there. Hello, Jose. Figma, any opinion? Any opinion on Figma? I mean, I would say no opinion. I I personally never used it, right? I'm just not in the market for it. I might not be the type of person that use it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't know it. So for that reason, I don't. I think in the software space, there's a lot of opportunities out there. One of the software plays that I think is actually pretty great is the semiconductor software, Cadence. Right, Cadence just reported earnings, and I don't know if anybody saw earnings, but I did the deep dive on the community. So if you want an AI chip community, check out whatthechipHappened.com. You don't even need to use code 2026. I got to update this. You just go to whatthechipHappened.com, click the link, and you get 33% off automatically at checkout. We got exclusive live streams, deep dives on earnings, conference coverages, investor network. We have a live stream later tonight around 8 o'clock, 8:30, I think. 8:30, we're going to have our deep dive live stream. But I think in the software space, I like these players better. Cadence actually showcased. They said that they're already building AI agents to help engineers build chips better. And in reality, they're not seeing any customer it's not cannibalizing their business. It's actually helping it grow even more and more. And I think those are the ones that can really win with AIs when you're in a super niche market, when you have the great data and you're able to create some form of AI agent that you can kind of add as an add-on service, and you'll be able to see revenue growth with it. So I really like Cadence Synopsys. I think the AI market is pushing it. Figma, I'm not too familiar with it, but I'm gonna guess it's gonna follow that same trend of Adobe, that anytime we get any new image generator, anything like that, while the business itself is still doing good, the market might still punish it just based on the optics. And image generations are just going to get better. Again, I'm not saying that image generation is going to end Adobe. I don't think that's the case. I think Adobe is a great business and they're going to survive and integrate AI really well. But the optics that the market is going to see is going to punish the stock every time we see some form of new AI generation. Um, so those are my thoughts there. Hi, Jose. Curious on your take on compounded annual growth rate on TSM for the next five. I'm a full port on TSM at the moment. Thanks in advance. That's a really big question to ask. So you're asking me what I think compounded. I don't know. I mean TSM. I think long term it's a big win, right? I'm extremely bullish in the semiconductor market. Um, I personally, though, I feel I talked about it in the past. TSM is the semiconductor market, right? If you say what company is this is the semiconductor market, I think is TSM. If I was to ever full port, it would be more on a semiconductor ETF than a semiconductor company. I think a semiconductor company, a semiconductor ETF for the 5, 10 years is going to outperform the market. It has done it in the past X years. You can put it the past 3 years, the past 5 years, the past 10 years. A semiconductor ETF has outperformed the market. So, I mean, TSM, yeah, I don't think they're going to go down anytime soon. The massive demand of AI, we're just getting started, right? You're going to have robotics. If robotics is a big market, which I think it is, maybe not this year or next year, but eventually will be the amount of chips that just come from the robotics market, autonomous vehicle market, right? I mean, AI data centers that it continues to go on. The different types of tailwinds that can help fuel whatever type of AI hardware that goes. So I don't a full port of TSM I don't think is crazy. I would just personally do more of a SMH or a semiconductor ETF. My limit order for Dash got filled 154. Nice. Nice. What do we see here for Dash? I've never ordered from DoorDash. I'm a Uber's type of guy. I just Uber. I feel like I don't try. I don't know. What do they even for food? Is DoorDash? Yeah, I don't know. I also don't do grocery delivery though. I just do food. I never have the cheapo in me would rather go to a store than for groceries and stuff. For food, no. For food, I don't mind being delivered. Um, Amazon really dropped the ball with Alexa. But I mean, if the AI market, right? If the AI market is really as early as we think it is, did it really drop it? I mean, a year from now, if maybe AI gets so much easier, so much cheaper. That's the other thing. Remember, it's imagine having Alexa running on everybody's household 24, like all this time, the amount of token generation. I think for Amazon and a lot of these players who have billions of consumers, maybe not billions, millions of hundreds of millions of consumers, you don't want to just burn it on some random thing, right? You don't want to burn it and just burn all the burn money on it. You have to be careful on how you do it. I think as AI gets cheaper and cheaper, you're going to see these big players who do have a lot of these AI, not these chatbots or stuff like that, like Alexa, um, like Siri, potentially have a better opportunity to grow as AI gets cheaper and cheaper. But when you're serving massive amount of customers, you have to wait for that thing to be super, super cheap before you do it. So I don't think I would put Alexa out just yet. Lamb Research. I mean, Lamb Research, a great company, very similar to ASML though, right? I think we've been talking about Lamb Research in the sub 100s easily. Easily, you can Google Jose Najarro Lamb Research. I like semiconductor equipment players when the tailwind is coming, but the orders and the bookings are not showing just yet. For Lam Research, one of the big reasons for them was they were big in the memory space. They had the opportunity to grow as memory shortages continue. Now, I'm not saying this story is not going to continue to go up. I think it is going to continue to go up. We have all this massive expenses happening in the memory space, in the manufacturing space, CapEx growing. Um, if I was a shareholder, I would definitely be a hold. There's no reason for me to sell, I believe. If I was a buyer, it would be very small dollar cost averaging right now. But that's just what I would be doing. Um, Load the boat with silver or miss the boat. Hmm, I don't know. I usually don't buy metals or materials, but to each their own. That'll be a heavy boat, no? Titanic. I'm guessing that's with the boat up there. I don't know. Will Meta be doing cloud services? I don't think so. Greatest vid. I don't. I hope they don't. Right? Because Meta. I mean, um, Meta just needs to compute for their advertisement. And for their sorry guys, my father-in-law is calling. Let me just give me right back. I think he wants to talk to my little one. Give me one quick second. Give me one quick second. I'll be right back. Sorry about that, guys. My father-in-law just wanted to talk to my little one, and he's across the world, so the time difference is it limits him when he can talk. Um, but yeah, so back to Meta. With Meta, I don't think Meta will do the cloud services. I don't think they need to. I mean, they have billions of people that they need to serve, whatever AI solution they're doing. The recommender models need to work on all of them. They have so many different applications, so many different types of mediums, long-term context, short-term context, videos, text, images, that they just are investing because of that advertisement push. Oof, I'm out of breath running around the house. And it's not a big house. That says something. Hello, everybody. What's going on, George? PAX has upgraded from last week's to $14. That pays dividends of $12 each quarter. Nice. Good to buy Nvidia. I mean, I like Nvidia right now. I mean, you got a forward PE ratio of what, 27 on Nvidia? What is there not to like on Nvidia? But to each their own. I mean, obviously, if you're getting into Nvidia, you really have to believe the AI story. You can't be like, maybe the AI story is real. I think if you're buying Nvidia, buying the biggest company, for you to believe this company is going to be much bigger, is you need to believe this AI story is real, and that this AI capex is not just going to end next year, right? So, I think, I mean, for a PE ratio of 26, Nvidia is I like it. I like it a lot. It's so funny. What's going on, Matt? That's like Mean Girls, Patty. Oh yeah. Well, I'm like, what's so funny? What were we talking about 14 minutes ago? But it was the Dario Sam. Yeah, it was so petty. I think that was so petty. They wouldn't even spare 4 seconds. I agree, right? For 4 seconds, just be happy. Just be like, yo, you're doing really good with your company. I'm doing really good with my company. Let's shake hands. Let's do this. And then we go back to beefing. But no, I mean, that just it's just yes, it like Tiger is broker in Hong Kong that looks cheap that has upgraded to $14. That could be basing to go higher. So two things. Usually I don't focus too much on brokers or fintech. Michael. And then I also am very limited to how much I focus in international markets, especially um, that part of the world. So usually not for me, but maybe someone here enjoys that. Should I sell my Google and go into Amazon or Microsoft? That's your call. Now, like for me, what I'm doing, I don't mind trimming. I would never sell all my Google, but I wouldn't mind trimming a little bit of Google to go into Amazon and Microsoft. But I would never sell off all my Google. I think Google still has it. Jose, do you see SMH Holdings or will the sector fall with the rest of the market's bearish? I mean, I think short term, obviously, Joe, anything can happen. But I think the semiconductor market has so much tailwinds, right? I don't know if you guys I brought it up in my community twice already. The semiconductor industry was expected to hit $1 trillion in revenue by 2030. That was the goal. Hit $1 trillion by 2030. I have two companies now that I read their transcript. Applied Materials and Cadence System. Both those companies believe that this year, 2026, the semiconductor is going to hit $1 trillion in revenue. That is 4 years ahead of schedule. If that doesn't make you bullish in the semiconductor space, I don't know. I don't know. There was another thing that Applied Materials said during their earnings call, and this is why you guys are here, right? Because I spent time reading these damn transcripts. I spent time reading this stuff that no one else is discussing, right? Maybe maybe after this, people are going to start saying this information. But first, the $1 trillion market by the end of this year. The second thing, um, data center is expected to be a bigger portion of the semiconductor revenue by the end of this year or next year for the first time ever. The semiconductor market has always been driven by consumer technology. That is no longer the case. It's going to be driven by the data center market and data center expenses. And I think those two things are massive, Um, so yeah. Have you liked any earnings this morning? So what earnings did we have this morning? Let's look at. I actually don't remember what we had this morning. Um, let's open up app really quickly. Calendar. What's today? Today's Thursday already. All right. So I haven't learned it, but I mean I would love to read BE Semiconductor onto Innovation. Obviously, those two are but I don't follow anything else here. So no, I don't think any of the earnings have me excited. Now next week is gonna be crazy. Next week we have Nvidia, we have CoreWeave. I'm super pumped. I'm super pumped. I'm pretty sure I'm pumped for no reason. Maybe stocks are gonna drop. Who cares? But I'm super pumped. I'm super pumped on earnings next week. Um, Synopsys, yeah, agree, June. Synopsys and Cadence. I think these are the great software. These are being driven down by software apocalypse or SaaS, whatever people are calling it, the SaaS apocalypse. But I think these are great plays. Um, that stock is too high. That too much risk looks like a sell. What are we talking about here, Michael? Good morning, Jose. What's going on, Barbara? Welcome. Hope you're doing good. In the bark market, can't buy any stock over 150 that you can't lower your average on. In a bear market, you can't buy. Why wouldn't you be able to buy? I mean, it's all about market cap, right? It's not really about stock price. Why don't you pull the chart so we can see the performance, TSM versus ETF? Yeah, let's pull it. I mean, I think until recently, TSM. Let's pull the chart. I think the past 2 years, TSM completely blew the waters out. But let's put TSM and let's put SMH. Let's put SOXX and let's put SMHX. SMHX. Come on, why are you not showing me SMHX? Yo, why are you not here? There should be there is an SMHX. All right. We'll just put these and let's just do 5 years. Let's do total return. I mean, we see TSM did massive this past. Um, but look, total returns in the past 5 years, SMH outperformed it. Right? It's only this past 1 year that was a complete difference. 3 years? 3 years, and it's not that much, right? SMH and TSM. This is for me why. And again, it's not like I said. It's not that I hate TSM. It's just like TSM is just the semiconductor market. So if TSM is doing really well, that means the rest of the market is doing really well. Um, I mean, 5 years you have SMH outperform. 10 years you have SMH completely outperform. Um, the only time TSM has really done much was this past year, right? 3 years, you have some improvement there, but most of it is coming just from these past few months here. So yeah, I think I stand with what I say there, and it's I think I would rather for a full port in the semiconductor market, I would just feel more comfortable with the semiconductor ETF because it's gonna, in theory, move very similar to TSM because TSM at the end of the day is the semiconductor market. Not a fan of expired fruit, I guess. Expired fruit. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. I bet there are some laggers in this dragging the performance down. Yeah, there are some, and that's what TTF's right? You're gonna have some laggers pulling it down. But overall, if TSM is going up, it means in theory should mean the whole cycle, the whole market should be going up. Hello, Mr. FIL of Jose. Mr. FIL? FIL. Tadaf. I don't know what FIL means. Would Jose and Couch hold hands at an AI summit? Yeah, I mean he's cool. I don't know if people think we have beef. Me and Neil talk a lot. I WhatsApp him a lot. Um, so I don't think there's beef with me and him. We would definitely, if we were at the AI summit, but only for the picture. We wouldn't just be holding hands for nothing. That's wholesome. Um, Small houses have their advantages. I agree. I agree. Um, Moonshot, take CoreWeave. Moonshot, take CoreWeave went from crypto mining to AI inference, seeing that they dominated it via software. Could they be also a software company in the future? Mariah, this is actually something they are entering into. If we look at CoreWeave software, they had a report. Was it in this one? CoreWeave to adopt. Yes. Okay. So expanded relationships to offer CoreWeave software to cloud service providers and enterprises. So again, many people, I mean, there's probably some streamers out there, some fin Twitters that think CoreWeave doesn't do software and they're just a pure AI infrastructure company that just does bare metal. That's not the case. There's a reason CoreWeave probably has the higher pricing in a lot of these rentals out there. But one thing that they are doing is they are going to be selling. I know somewhere. I don't want to read it too much, but right here, expanding the relationship to offer their CoreWeave software to global cloud service providers and the enterprise space. I think even the CEO mentioned it during a CNBC interview. So yes, they're entering into the software market, and many people don't see it, but it's coming. It's coming. Moonshot take, actually a real take, Mariah. Nvidia 250, let's go. What was the price I told you yesterday? Someone asked me yesterday what I think Nvidia was going to be after earnings. I gave that to Moonshot take. Nebius saving the portfolio today. Nebius is doing amazing. I'm super happy. Let's see. Let's just keep that one on right now. 107. Nice. Boom, boom, boom. Wow, it's pretty crazy. Nebius up, other cloud providers down. Did they announce anything? Oh, there was a price target hike, right? Price target. Look at our boy Neil right here. This is why I keep buying this Million Maker artificial intelligence. If you don't want to click that, I don't know why you wouldn't. But let's see. SMCI has very low margin company. I wouldn't touch it. Yeah, that's why I'm at least with CoreWeave, not CoreWeave, with the server makers. I think the margins and competition is very close to each other. What are Marvell at these levels? I actually like Marvell. This is another play. I forgot to mention Marvell, but Marvell, if we're below 80, I like it. Yeah, 78.69. I think Marvell has potential. $68 billion market cap. You have the exponential growth in the networking side and storage memory controllers. You have the ASIC market. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity for Marvell. Those commercials really hit. Did you guys get hit with commercial? Thanks for answering. No problem, Joe. No problem, Joe. I recently entered a Astera Lab after the recent pullback, and yourself and Fired Up Wealth talked about it. It's more of a swing trade for me. Probably cut it when it's back to 200. Nice. Fired Up Wealth. He's a good guy too. He's a good guy. I like Fired Up Wealth. Eric. He's pretty chill. He talks about Astera Labs. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, A-Lab is one I just recently started covering. I just recently entered into it. I am back holding it, but I really do like it. I mean, I think there is a extreme second half story for this company. TSM can control the price, but TSM, there's a difference between TSM and memory companies like Micron. I think memory companies like Micron take heavy advantage of their customers. They do. You see this massive. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the video that I did with Arista Networks, where Arista just said, "Look, for the memory prices, we have to just take it." Right? They're giving us these prices at ridiculously cost compared to a year ago. They're pretty much taking advantage of us. Is what what Arista said about Micron. TSM, they control the prices, but I think they are fair with it as well. They understand that you have to be good to your customers, because the moment your customers maybe see a bit of a slow demand, if you treated them wrong, they're going to go somewhere else. They're going to remember that. I mean, I think a lot of companies are going to remember how Micron is treating them and how all these other memory companies are treating them right now. You want to take as much margins as you can? That's good for you. Wait till we get into we're no longer in a supply constraint market. We'll talk about margins then. TSM, while they do increase prices, I think they do it in a more respectable way where it doesn't seem like they're taking advantage of you. But yeah. I mean, TSM who would eat an expired fruit? I agree. Who would? Someone who gets DoorDash. Oh, is that what DoorDash does? I guess that was the joke, right? So I guess if you DoorDash, you're getting bad bad products. That's probably been one of my biggest things of groceries is like I don't know if they're gonna pick. I don't know how to pick a great watermelon, but if I buy a watermelon, I think they're gonna do worse job than me. Yeah, you grab the watermelon, you smack it, and you try to act like you know what you're listening to. But man, that's just me. That's just me. Here we are talking about watermelons. Um, let's see what else. Hold on. Let me see. All right, chat. We're getting close. Jose, I work in the IT hardware sales space, and the price increase I'm seeing daily from the memory shortage is pretty crazy. It's hitting everybody. Yeah, I mean, I think consumer tech is going to have a bad year. I think consumer tech is definitely going to have a bad year because of these memory shortages. And then obviously it's going to impact the data center players. And the shortage is going to last a while. I do think so. I don't know if I would play it via Micron. There's other ways I want to play the memory market, but the memory shortage is definitely the memory storage shortage is here for a while. A while. I'm a troublemaker. Uh, uh, troublemaker. I've been burned too many times from grocery deliveries. Mm, mm. Yeah, maybe now Matt is making sure I'm never gonna be a delivery person order thingy. Scam Altman. Yeah, I don't know. Thoughts? Any thoughts on LSCC? No thoughts. Jose, have you checked Zscaler Inc? It's a good one. The cybersecurity I think is extremely difficult. It's extremely hard to understand the cybersecurity market. Maybe that's why I don't focus too much on Zscaler. Um, but let's see what else we're looking at. I just want to see if there's anything here. Gemini 3.1 Pro is live. Oh, did they release a new model? Gemini 3.1. Matt ended up buying some contracts here, it seems, on buy to open contracts on Service Now. Interesting. App Loving is preparing to build a social networking platform. Interesting. Let's see. Google Cloud grew 48% last quarter with a two, and now we know why. That's the dumbest take. It's not why. What I don't that was now we know why. It's not because Gemini 3.1 took the number one spot. That if Gemini 3.1 wasn't out, then there's no reason why the backlog grew that much. That is such a wild take. Such a wild take. What a wild take. That was wild. Today, we continue to push the boundaries of AI with our release of Gemini 3.1 Pro. This updated model scores. This is actually pretty cool. Prompt: generate an animated SVG of a giraffe driving. Gemini 3.1 Pro seems like it's coming in clutch. Really clutch. Wow. I was about to unsubscribe from my $200 a month subscription of Gemini, but maybe I might keep it. Nvidia outperforms, maintain a $240 price target. Analysts expect 3 to 4% beat rate, see potential backlog increase above $500 billion. I think it sucks, though, that Nvidia gave us that $500 billion numbers, because now everybody, every time, is going to ask about it. It's like, they don't have a backlog number that they're really going to show. And if they don't show it, the market's going to hate it. With Rubin growth and GTC as key catalysts. 240. Let's go. Let's see what else. Gemini 3.1 used over 19K recent tokens to make this SVG of a penguin, by the way. Anthropic. This is another thing. Anthropic, right, projects to spend $80 billion cloud spend through 2029. If OpenAI is raising $100 billion, shouldn't we be set to at least 2028, 2029 in this AI race? If OpenAI really does raise $100 billion, what's the bear case? What's the bear case? OpenAI can then pay for at least the next 2 to 3 years in AI infrastructure. It's not like they're spending probably like what, $20 billion for this year. They're going to spend what, $40 billion. Well, they spent $20 billion probably in 2025. They're probably going to spend around $35, $40 billion a year. Then they're going to spend about $60 billion in 2027, and all that would almost be like revenue, generating those revenue directly as well. So I mean, if they raise $100 billion, I don't think there's an end to this AI story just yet. Oh wow, that's actually pretty cool. Wait, Walmart home delivery. If they bring you something you don't like, they'll bring you a new one, or they take it off your check. Nice. Very, very nice. Maybe I might try Walmart then. Easy. How are you playing the memory market? There's a few semiconductor form factors, Silicon Motion. There's a few other plays. Rampus. They're looking a lot interesting in the memory space. They're either a proxy to the memory market that I tend to like right now. And let's see, guys, if y'all have any more questions, feel free to let me know. I mean, if not, we'll just keep strolling through X. Let's see. Semi-analysis saying that Intel might have delayed. One thing about semi-analysis, though, is they do have some interns here. And sometimes their interns go a little bit more clickbaity than needed on some other posts. So I don't know. I have to read. I haven't read the Cisco AI Summit of Intel. I know they were there recently. It's weird that I feel like I always hear about Grok 4.2 or Grok doing some crazy stuff, but I never see anybody use it. Any other questions, guys? Any other questions? Or not? Well. All right. Open it. This is this is a crazy. All right. Let's see what's the market doing right now. We don't have any earnings that I'm excited about. Anything going up like crazy. We have some red. Lam Research down. Applied Digital, Pang. Intel's down at 44. ARM is down 2%. So we have some red in the semiconductor market. Navitas. Let's see. Hey, Jose, what's up, my brother? Hope you're doing better than the stock market. I don't think the stock market is doing bad, but yes, I actually am doing a lot better than the stock market. I can't complain. Eric, Structural and geopolitical changes are tailwinds for TSM. For instance, drone technology, Starlink, Palantir tech make Taiwan much safer than even a few years ago. TSM standing up US 100. Yeah, I mean, just I think obviously the geopolitical changes are tailwinds for TSM. I do believe the biggest tailwind for TSM is just the innovation of humankind, right? Just it sounds stupid. I mean, it sounds far fetched, but just technology getting better and better. Just the robotics, like you mentioned, just the drone, anything, everything is becoming um, any type of new technology that's going to come out within the next 5 years is a tailwind for TSM's manufacturing. Navitas, they do report earnings next week. What has Navitas done lately? Um, we are getting closer to kind of like getting more details on the partnership with them and Nvidia. Um, my little one is screaming. I don't know if you guys can hear him. I got to go check on him in a bit. But yeah, I mean, I for Navitas, I've talked about it in the past. I don't call this, I believe right now it's more of like a company that is more of like a trading vehicle. If I'm gonna be honest, it's one that moves a lot on press releases and then it forgets about the press release and the stock drops. I mean, I can bet you that probably all of these massive hikes have been a press release and then they pull down and then another press release and pull down and another press release and pull down. Um, I mean, what they're working with has the opportunity to grow with the massive demand in capex. The only thing is management has really stated that a lot of this story is not expected to happen until later this year, right? Until the second half, maybe the end of this year and the first half of next year. So for this one, it's one of those where you have to be patient with the volatility. Um, and the real financial rewards probably come at the end of the year. Um, do you have any favorites non-semi plays? Any I mean, Max 7. I don't think the Max 7s are semiconductor plays, right? I think those would be my non-favorite semiconductor plays. Your Amazon, right? Your uh Meta. I wouldn't it's weird how I do believe people are starting to put them all into semiconductor and AI plays, but I don't think so. Um, I'm in MU and SNTK, happy that I am. Congratulations. I'm happy that you are too. I'm happy that you're happy too. I can't believe people are afraid to invest in winners for a year. I don't think it's that. I mean, I think everybody has their own investment style. And other people have been in this market a little bit longer and they understand some risk that they don't want to be in. I find it funny that people can't understand that not everybody's investment style is your investment style. It's like, can people just do what they want to do? Why do you think CoreWeave is a better play than Nebius? I don't know. Boom, 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 boom. I think it's a better play if I'm looking at an AI infrastructure standalone, right? I think Nebius is a better play overall, right? Nebius has so many different avenues from the different types of investments, from their AV ride platform, um, and then obviously their AI infrastructure. So you have all those investments on AI. Um, then you have like I mentioned, the autonomous vehicle market, and then you have the AI infrastructure. I think Nebius is a great overall business. I don't want a great overall business, and I do own Nebius. To me, like when I was looking for a player, I wanted the best in the AI infrastructure market, the best in AI infrastructure, and I don't think there's anyone better than CoreWeave when it comes to AI infrastructure. Right? That's where I was looking at it. Right? I think Nebius overall has a way better business because it has all those different avenues. But which one is the better AI infrastructure? And that's where I really want to focus on. Um, there. If you did not have a position on AMD, what would be the price you would load up shares? Um, I think right now 200. If you have for AMD shareholders though, you have to believe that AMD is going to do well with the MI 455. I mean, they gave us a forward earnings per share for the next 5 years of $20. You times that by forward PE ratio of 30, that's a $600 price target. But it's all in if they do get market share, right? That's the big risk. Do they get market shares? Do they continue to innovate? Do they not have supply chain issues? It's going to be a bumpy road for AMD. But I think anything around this, I would definitely be buying. And also understand the market punishes. The market reminds you that you might not know everything, and you're going to get some black swan event that will cause stock prices to drop. If you had to pick one for 6 months time frame, I think Amazon. No, AMD releases the Helios soon. 6 months. Where will we be in 6 months? That would be month number 8, so August. Uh, would we already have 6 months from now? We would have 2 earnings call. If we have 2 earnings call, I think I would pick AMD. If we only have 1 earnings call, I think it would be Amazon. I think 2 earnings calls from now, AMD is going to share some great stuff, right? So if I have 2 earnings calls that I'm able to listen to, I think AMD. If I only have 1 earnings call, Amazon. And this is just on this time frame, this 6 months time frame that Adrian just posted. Let's see here. What do you think about Nvidia in terms of valuations? If you think it's cheap, why the price is not reacting to these new news like Meta Nvidia deal? This Vera Rubin story already priced in. I don't I think a lot of this news is somewhat I don't think Vera Rubin story is priced in. I think a lot of these big news like Meta and Nvidia news are priced in because we knew Meta was going to increase capex dramatically. So in theory, you should expect an Nvidia deal. I don't know how much was priced in. I don't know. I think the market, I do believe the market is scared. I think the market knows 2026 is going to be a crazy year for capex. The market definitely knows that. We hear all these big players say it. Now the market is scared that they pulled capex so quickly in 2026. Will 2027 have a downgrade in capex? There's no way you can keep funding all this capex. It's what the market is thinking. I think the market can definitely keep funding it. I think these big players are going to see another capex growth in 2027. But I think most investors believe this might be the top in capex. And if that's the top on capex, then the market is scared. I mean, Nvidia, right? You really have to grow massive levels. I think Nvidia is just being underestimated. I think it's being underestimated, and the market believes there's a lot of fear of this being the top, that they're kind of punishing it in the valuations. But I think GTC is going to happen. We're going to get some crazy news. I think earnings, we're going to get some great ratings. That like I said, $213.68, I think is what I said the Friday after earnings. I don't follow Sidna on this space. Now, Edge AI, I would say, is definitely a market that's going to take some time. I do believe a lot of AI is going to happen in the cloud. Edge AI, in forms of the robotics players, are already the companies are already building their own stuff, right? Like, I mean, Tesla, right? They have their own AI chip already. There's also I don't follow Sidna, I don't follow it, but I would say in edge AI computing like this, there's a lot of competitors, a lot of competitors. Umbrella is another player in there. Qualcomm is another player in there. So I don't follow Sidna, but I would want to know what is the niche? What are they better at? Right? What is their AI edge? Because when you think of AI edge, there's so many different ways you can play with AI edge. What is the niche they're in? And what is that competition in that niche? Not only that, is that niche something that can happen next year, 2 years from now, 3 years from now? Like if you're telling me the niche they're in, again, it's autonomous robotic race car drivers, right? I don't think that's going to happen in 2 years. I'm just making it up. Again, I'm just giving a scenario, but it's like now if you tell me their niche is robotics for the enterprise world, and they have this amazing contract with these players, now that's a lot more strength to it. But that would be the first. Those would be the questions I would ask. SoFi, please give your opinions. You want my opinion on SoFi Caterpillar? I don't have one. I don't follow the fintech space. So my apologies. Jose, do you believe Nvidia is being held back by people trading it and not really moving based on its performance? I don't know if trading can really push this $1 trillion player. I think it's just fearedness in the market. Yeah, I do think so. I think the market is just scared. It's like you already have, where can you go from here? Where can you grow from here? The great thing is Nvidia has been more of a market maker and not a market taker. So what they're going to show us is another market that they're going to make and they're going to take. So they're a market maker taker, not a market taker. You know, it's like, all right, you did well with AI being the first player here. Can you do that again with whatever's next? And what is next within the AI story? Serious questions. I'm hoping every question is serious. Paul, but maybe not too serious. Some serious questions here. So, Zay, what do you think when a lot of agents come along? Do you believe Palantir will govern majority of agents under their AIP platform? I do not know AIP platform too much, but I don't. I mean, I don't know. I don't think there's going to be a one majority platform where all the agents are going to be living in. Um, that I can't pause. Serious answer. I don't know. Is what I'm going to go with here. I'm not too familiar with AIP, and if it's really kind of like that OS for AI agents. Um, what's going on, Jack? My name is Jeff. All right, this is the last question. Hey, are you concerned about massive depreciation of GPUs perpetually hurting Nebius and Corey's margins? I don't think so. I mean, the GPU market and cloud players have done it for a while already, right? It's not like these are the first GPUs. We've had various GPUs on all these players. The massive demand, as long as you can keep making revenue, and growing revenue and have some strong prices on these GPUs, I think you'll be fine. Um, and a lot of the models that these companies are, I think a lot of these players, they had their models and their models are actually were undershooting how well this market was going to go. So I'm actually pretty excited for Nebius and CoreWeave. All right, guys, that's it for me. I appreciate the hundreds of people that are here, 310. Like always, thank you so much, guys. Um, I do gotta go get the little one. It's time for the babysitter to head out. So I'm gonna go put the little one to sleep, and then maybe I'll get some quick lunch. So thank you all for coming. If you haven't, make sure to hit the thumbs up and the subscribe button. I'm on tomorrow at 11 o'clock again. Um, and yeah, thank you. And time to end this stream.